helpful, how the information system is helpful in taking the right decisions. How the information system is helpful in taking the right decisions. And as I told you in the beginning of my class, I mean the starting of the class is the time of information. We are in the information era or information age, where information should be provided very clearly and accurately, so that the action taken depending upon the information should be very accurate, and it should be done at the right time and with less error. So that is what the information system helps a lot to the management fellows, to the managers, like the marketing manager in marketing information system, the HR manager in HR information system, the production manager in production information system, the manufacturing manager, in case of manufacturing information system. So as a whole, you know, it will be helpful to learn in taking the right decisions, because the information are streamlined, are well organized too. So it will help a lot. Then we started with the fourth unit, that's data communication. As you know, and also we are using the smartphones, and even if some of you use the laptop, the computers, and whenever we are doing the chattings, like we are going for the WhatsApp, the Instagram, the Twitter, okay, whenever you are following any social site to share your emotions, thoughts, feelings with your friends or in a group. So what do? You send a text message, then it will reach to the destination. Suppose I'm sending to my friend who's in, let's say, USA. So I'll send hi, good morning. So it will go to my friend who's in USA. So how the data is actually transmitting, that is called the data communication. So the data communication, as you started, the fourth unit, the data communication. The data communication is basically the transfer of the data from the source to destination. And in communication, we have discussed 5 components. Already we discussed those 5 components, like the sender. There should be a sender. Okay, see, let me share you the slide. Okay, so you see, this is the term data communication. Just quickly recapping, we have already discussed the data communication, the exchange of data between 2 devices via some form of transmission medium, such as wire cable or wireless. And we discussed the 5 components as we just discussed in the last class, and I'm just talking about. One is the sender, who will send the data or the message to another person who should be ready to receive. Because you know, any communication system, there should be 2 parties to ready. One should send something, another should receive something. So there should be a device known as sender, who will send the message. There will be another device called the receiver, who will receive the message. Then the third component is the medium. Medium is the channel, the communication channel through which the message transfers. Let's say, like, I'm coming to the DDC. I'm staying in the fire station. So from fire station to here, I'm coming, and the communication medium is the road. Okay, is the road, national highway is the normal the communication medium for the general citizens or public. So the medium is the communication channel through which the data transfers from the source to the destination, from the sender to the receiver. That is, you say in computer system, if I say the keyboard is connected through wired cable, mouse is connected through wired cable, the monitor is connected through wired cable. But whenever I'm sending the message through my mobile to my friend's mobile, so that is the wireless communication. So the medium could be wired communication, or it could be wireless communication. It could be wired medium or wireless medium. Then the fourth component it consists of is the message. The message is the actual data which is transmitted from sender to receiver. Hi, hello, good morning, good night. whatever the message you want to send. So that will be the fourth component. And the fifth component is the important component. The fifth component is the protocol. Protocol is the set of rules and regulations that governs the data transfer, that initiates the data transfer, that controls the data transfer, that monitors the data transfer, that supervises the data transfer, and that ends the data transfer. I mean, whenever you are talking to your friend, you are in the mind that your friend will receive your call and you can talk. So that is what the undefined protocol between us. And whenever we say something, our friend will listen. And whenever the friend will say something, I have to listen. So that is the undefined. And the undefined protocol that whenever a subordinate talks to the senior or the boss, it will say very politely and with respectfully. But the other side is that whenever the boss will talk to the subordinate, the boss may get angry, may say something rudely. So that is the undefined protocol. These are the 5 components. Then we discuss the flow of data, the data flow, how it takes place. Okay, that is the simplex data transmission, which is one direction, like data transfers from keyboard to the computer, from mouse to the computer, or from computer to the monitor, from computer to the plotter, from computer to the printer. So these are the simplex data transmission. I mean, the data will be transmitted in one direction from sender to receiver. The second is the simplex one. The first one is simplex. The second is a half duplex one. In half duplex one, the data can be transferred in both the direction. The data can be transferred in both the direction, but one direction at a time. Let's say I'm saying, after that I'll ask, do you have any doubt or you got it? Then you can ask your question. Then I'll listen your question, then I'll give the answer. So that is one direction at a time, but both direction data can transfer. That is half duplex. And full duplex is the data can be transmitted in both the directions and at the same time, like we are talking in the mobile phones. So we say, sometimes our friends say, or sometimes a receiver party say, other party says. So there is a data collision, but yes, that is called the full duplex data transmission. So up to this, we have discussed in the last class. Now let me come to the next, the networks. Is my slide visible or it's not visible?
Visible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So let me continue with the remaining parts of the 4th unit, and we'll also discuss the 5th unit today. So what is network? Normally I think you have seen, if you are staying in Odisha, the Odisha government is giving the help to the women's, okay, in interior villages, towns, to just growth and to do something for the society, for the state, for the nation, and that is called SHG, self-help group. So they form a network, that is a group. Group is technically called a network, having 10 members, 15 members. One of them will be called the head, and the others will do the work under the head. So that is what a network, okay, technically called. So what is a network? Network is nothing, is a collection of a number of devices, Those are often called as nodes, connected by communication links or communication channels or communication medium. A network, I repeat, a network is a set of devices, like you say, computers, laptops, printers, plotters, monitors, keyboard, mouse, a number of devices, often referred to as nodes, connected by communication links. Then what is a node? A node can be a computer, a printer, as I told. A node can be a computer, a printer, or any other device capable of sending or receiving the data generated by other nodes on the network. So the node is capable of sending the data or receiving the data, again forwarding the same data for further transmission. Then what is a link? A link can be a cable, air, fiber optic cable, or any medium which can transport a signal carrying transmission. A link, as I told, the 5 components of communication system or data communication. One is called a communication medium. So communication medium, communication channel, or communication link. You see, communication channel, communication link, these are the frequently used term. Okay, so don't get confused that these are something like link is something different from channel, or channel is different from medium. No, communication channel, link, and medium, they refer to the same thing. So they can be where one like cable, keyboard is connected to the cable, monitor is connected to the cable, printer is connected to the cable, or air, like we are receiving the radio signal, the TV signals. Then fiber optic cable. I think today's arena is the how to get the quality data, quality signals. Earlier, I think you have seen, if you go to the 90s, and the TV, we use the antenna, and sometimes there is a heavy wind flow, heavy air speed is there, so the pictures will move on the TV because of the antenna is moving. Then, so if let's say some the crow will sit on the antenna, the signal will also get affected. So picture will go on move on the TV. So to avoid this type of problems, the fiber optic cable is used. The fiber optic cable transmits the data by using the light energy, and that's why the quality of the signal is maximum. Then coming to the next, what are the criteria of a network? The network criteria are of 3 types. The first one is the performance, because we will change the data from one network to another. So performance is playing a significant role. Performance is playing a significant role. The performance depends on network elements, and the performance is more if the delay is less and throughput is more. Delay less, okay. So whenever throughput. Now the performance, as I told, the performance of the network will be measured how speed it sends the data or transfers the data. So that will be, and how much data will be transmitted per unit time. So how speed or how much is taking to transfer the data, that is called the delay time. Delay. So if a network receives data and transmits after delaying so much time, the delay time will be more. Delay time more means the transmission time will be more, so the performance will be decreased. So that's why delay, less delay is required, is desired. Then coming to the throughput, throughput is the number of outputs produced per unit time. I repeat, throughput is the number of outputs produced per unit time. Unit time is second, per second. Like we are saying speed, distance covered per second. So throughput, number of outputs, So the throughput is the number of okay. See the chat box, number of outputs produced per unit time. How much outputs produced per unit time? Okay. So how much, you see the chat box, I have typed number of outputs produced per unit time. How much outputs completed, how much data is sent per time or receives per time per unit time, and the unit of time is second. So that is the throughput. So more throughput is high performance, less delay time is high performance. Then coming to the next criteria is the reliability, and it is it's a measure of customer satisfaction, user satisfaction, how the network is reliable to use. So anybody? Aparajita, you can mute yourself. Okay. So reliability, you know the failure rate of the network components. How much time you use the network and the network is failure at that time. Suppose you access the network 10 times, one time it is failure, 9 times it is working, then it's okay, 10%. But you are accessing the network 10 times, 9 times failure. That means the reliability is not achieved. Then another term used is in terms of availability or robustness. How much the network is self-resistance to the natural calamities. That's a robustness, natural calamities. Like earthquake, tsunami, volcanic eruption, flood. So if the system is self-resistance, then we are saying it's a robustness or the reliability is maximum, because we know whatever the situation, the natural calamities will be, but there will be, the network will be available for use. Then the third criteria of the network is the security. You know, security is the most essential feature of any network. I think you have heard that our data or the Indian fellows data that is there in a WhatsApp that is used in the British election. So there is a problem how the data is secured without the for prior permission of the concerned customers or the users. So that time people raise their question. So the Facebook forced to give the explanation and some new features it wants to add, but due to that resistance, it is not able to implement. It's not able to implement that features. So the security, you know, the data refers to the data protection against corruption or loss of data due to errors. Whenever the data is used, there will be certain errors, so that errors should not be appear. Then malicious users, you know, malicious users are the most dangerous users. They are technically called the attackers. Okay, the malicious users are the hackers. They are the hackers. They are the attackers. See the chat box. Okay, they are the intruders. So you know, the malicious users are, you know, the unauthorized users. The unauthorized users. Suppose I'm sending a message to my friend. So my friend is the authorized user to see my message. But let's say somebody X sees, Y sees the message, those are called the malicious users. They see intentionally or unintentionally, but they are the malicious users. So the malicious users may be the attackers, the hackers, the crackers, the intruders. Their intention is to see the message, and sometimes they change the message. They corrupt the message, they modify the message, and it normally happens whenever there is a third party involved. Suppose, let's say I want to say something. Let's say I want to say something to Chinmay Kumar Naik, okay? So if I'll say that to Chinmay Kumar Naik, that you please come tomorrow. But let's say I'll not say directly to Chinmay, I'll say to the Biswajit. Biswajit, I'll say, Biswajit, you tell Chinmay to come. But if Biswajit is not happy with Chinmay, so what Biswajit will do? Biswajit may not pass the message or pass the message with 2 to 3 hours late, assuming that Chinmay will not come. So sir will get definitely angry. Or Chinmay will say, or Biswajit will say to Chinmay, Chinmay, sir asks you not to come. But I said to come. So that is what that time the Chinmay will be a malicious user. You know, a third party which involved in data communication and changes intentionally or unintentionally changes the data. So that is not expected. Okay, so these are the different criteria of network. Now, coming to the structure, how the network looks like. The network has 2 parameters to define the physical structure. 2 parameters to define the physical structure. One is the type of connection, that is point-to-point connection. Like you are giving a call and you are talking to your friend only, that is a point-to-point connection. But you are talking with your friends in a conference call, that is a multi-point. So point-to-point connection, single sender and single receiver. Multi-point, multiple receivers will be there with a single sender. Let's say I'm teaching you people, this is a multi-point connection because I'm only saying you people are listening. So I think yes, you are 37 are there, including me. So you are listening what I am saying. That is a multi-point. But whenever you are talking with your father, that is a point-to-point connection. If I talk to one single person, then what is your problem? Then that's a point-to-point connection. Then next is the physical topology. How the systems, the computers will connect with each other. You see, this is the point-to-point, the graphical representation, point-to-point connection. One sender, one receiver. They will be connected directly, like talking with the father, talking with your brother, and talking to your friend. That is a point-to-point. But multi-point, one sender, many receiver, like I'm teaching, I'm saying. So this is a multi-point connection. Okay. Next, coming to the second parameter to define the physical structure of the network. How the network looks like, that's a physical structure. So the second parameter is the physical topology. The topology is a term used to define the physical connectivity of the nodes or the devices used in the computer, used in the network. I repeat, the topology is defined as the physical connection of the devices or the nodes used in the network. You see, in the network, we have computers, we have laptops, we have monitors, printers, plotters. So how they are connected with each other? That the topology will discuss. We'll discuss so many topologies used. Then the type of transmission. What is the type of transmission? Whether the type of transmission is unicast, one-to-one. I'll say, okay, Biswajit, you say what is the doubt? That's a unicast. Multicast is I'm only teaching to your batch student. That's a multicast. Broadcast is the radio signals, the television signals. Those are broadcasted to all. So broadcast to all, that's a one to all. Unicast one to one, multicast one to a subset. Like if we say, if people are the DDC students, so if the DDC will have a notice that tomorrow the class is suspended, that's a multicast one, because it is matters to only DDC student. It's not concerned about the Utkal University, neither the Ramadevi nor the Ravenshaw. So that is a multicast. And talking one-to-one is unicast. So coming to the physical topology, the topology which is frequently used to connect is the mesh topology, star topology, the burst topology, and the ring topology. I repeat, topology is nothing, it's defining the physical structure of connecting different nodes or devices in the network. So the topology basically used are of four types, that is a mesh, star, burst, and ring. Now coming to the first one, this is the mesh topology. It is a mesh topology. Now what is a mesh topology? In mesh topology, each device, each system, or each node will be connected with other systems or nodes or devices directly. I mean, there will be always a dedicated connection. There is always a dedicated connection between one device to another device. Okay. Now, see, since each device is connected to other device directly, so this topology will never fail to find a path to transfer the data from one node or one device to another. Suppose one device is directly connected to another, but if that connection path fails, it can go through to other paths, other intermediate paths. So, you know, this is the very frequently asked question. If some of you will go for the banking exam, okay, please, you remember how many number of cables will be required required in mesh topology to connect n computers n is equal to n into okay. See, this is a very frequent asked question in the banking exam. If you go for after MBA for manager post like scale 3 or scale something like that. So there is a frequently asked question. If you have n computers, then how many bidirectional cable? Bidirectional means same cable will be used to transmit from one device to the second device and second to first also. It's a bidirectional. Through which you see, if the same road you are using to come and go, that is a bidirectional. But you see, normally in NS, you see one way to come, the other way to return. That is a unidirectional. So the formula which I type, how many cables or the number of bidirectional cables required in mesh topology to connect n computers is equal to n into n minus 1 by 2. For example, if I want to connect 10 computers in mesh topology, the number of bidirectional cable required is 45. Okay. Now, can anybody guess how many number of unidirectional cables will be required? Unidirectional cables. Anybody can guess how many number of unidirectional cables will be required to connect n computers in mesh topology? Anybody? What is actually the difference between bidirectional and unidirectional? In bidirectional cable, one cable will be required between device 1 and device 2. So through that cable, device 1 can send the data to 2, 2 can also send to 1. That is what the bidirectional cable. Now, unidirectional cable, one cable will be required to send the data from device 1 to device 2, and another cable will be required to transfer the data from device 2 to device 1. So if it is unidirectional, then the number of cables will be get double. Okay. So see, just is it okay? Anybody can respond if you have any doubt. Is it okay or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, this is the formula n into n minus 1. So for example, to connect with the same 10 computers, the number of cables required is 90. Now earlier it is 45, now it is 90. Because bidirectional means one cable can go take the data from device 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. But unidirectional means is one dimensional flow. So one cable from device 1 to 2, another cable from device 2 to 1. So number of cables will be get double. And why it is asked in the banking exam? Because this is a frequently used topology in networking and most reliable topology. This is the most reliable. This is the most reliable topology so far. If we will talk about any topology, mesh, star, boss, ring, hybrid, so many topologies are there. But among all, the mesh topology is the most reliable. The mesh topology is the most reliable topology. I mean, this topology will never fail. And this is required in banking sector. Whenever any transaction is performed, the transaction should perform without any failure. So that's why they need for the mesh topology. And as I told, this topology will never fail because there will be always one path is available for data transmission. You see, if you see the diagram, if session 1 to 2, see how many paths? 1 to 2, one direct path. Then 1 to 3, 3 to 2, 1, the 3, 1 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1 is there. Then 1 to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 2, 2 to 1, 1 to 5, 5 to 2. So the star topology is the frequently used topology. The star topology is a frequently used topology in educational institution. Because you see, in the mesh topology, the number of cables will be more. For connecting 10 computers, 90 by the is called a hub, technically called hub, HEB, hub. The switch has the connection points. Like we are using multi-connector in our home for electricity, extension cord. You say hub is an extension cord, but not exactly extension cord. Extension cord is only used for connectivity, but hub is extension cord type along with certain decision-making parameter logic is there within the hub. So the hub is a four-way connectivity hub, which is shown in the diagram, but it could be more. Suppose another one computer I want to, or one session I want to connect. So in that case, what I'll do? I'll go for another hub. Okay, I'll go for another hub, and that hub will provide the extension. So basically, whenever the number of cables are, go on increasing in case of the mesh topology, but that is not required in case of star topology. One station will be directly connected to the hub through one cable, and the stations, they will communicate with each other through the central switch that is called the hub. So let's say this is a four-way hub. It supports 4 computers or systems to connect it. Suppose I need another one or another 2 to connect. So I'll take another additional hub that I'll put under this hub. Then I'll connect as many number of computers. So the star topology, as I told, it is used in educational institutions like DDC uses, Utkal University uses, Ramadevi uses, Ravenshaw uses, BJP College uses, KIT uses, ITR uses. So every educational institution network uses the star topology. To reduce the number of cables, that is the cost, because you have to purchase the cables. That so cost is reduced. Then the connection complexities will be also reduced. So provides a very simple one. Then the next is the bus topology. You see, the bus topology is the topology where one bus, that is technically called the master bus. Okay. The master bus, see the chart box. One bus that is called the master bus is used to transfer the data from any device to any other device. So the devices will be connected directly to the bus. So bus, what is a bus? Bus is a set of wires or cables. The set of wires or cables used for transmitting data. You say the national highway is a bus topology. The national highway is a bus topology. Anybody who wants to go or move anywhere, they have to use the common path, the common communication channel, the common communication link, and that will be uniformly accessed by all the devices. Then coming to the last topology is the ring topology. In ring topology, the devices or computers, they are connected with each other. They are connected with each other in a circular way. In a circular way. You see, this is consisting of 6 computers. Okay. Starting top 2, bottom 2, left 1, right 1. 6 computers, they are connected through the repeaters, the connecting device. So any computer can communicate with any other computer by sending or receiving the data, and the data will be transmitted in clockwise. It will not come in anti-clockwise. I mean, it starts with, let's say, left station, then it will go to the top station, then the next top station second, then the right station, then the bottom right, then bottom left. So it is a clockwise. Data will be transmitted in a clockwise direction. So if session 1 wants to communicate with the top one, so it will directly send and it will go. But if it want to communicate with the bottom left, so it has to pass through the entire circle, the entire circular path before reaching the destination. Because it cannot send backward. Backward data transmission is not allowed. So this is also very simple and easy to use, but the problem is that it has a huge problem of the ring topology, and the problem is that central point of is the failure. The failure is the most disadvantage of the ring topology. Now, how it is? You see, if one of the station will fail, the signal cannot be transmitted forward. So the entire network will fail. The entire network will fail. So that's why the ring topology is not frequently used in the commercial application. So this is a hybrid topology, as I told. The hybrid topology consisting of star and bus topology. This is a combination of star. There are several bus, 3 bus topology, individual topology. They are connected to a central hub. So it's a bus plus star topology. That is a hybrid topology. And normally in commercial application, like you say, software industry people, and let's say the research industries like ISRO, BEL, NTPC, NALCO, they go for the hybrid topology. In educational purpose, we go for only the star topology because we have less number of computers. But whenever we need more computers, then the hybrid topology will be a better choice. Then coming to the next is the categories or the types of network. The categories are the types of networks. That is the first category. Yes. Satyajit, do you want to say anything? Anybody wants to say anything? Okay. So coming to the next is the categories of networks. The networks are basically classified into 3 categories. One is the LAN. LAN, MAN, WAN are the standard form. LAN, MAN, WAN are the standard form. Try to remember the full form. LAN is local area network. MAN is metropolitan area network. WAN is wide area network. Local area network, that's a LAN, covers short distances like within a building, within office premises, and it is designed to provide local internet connectivity. Then coming to the metropolitan area network that provides the connectivity over a city or a campus or between 2 cities, that comes under metropolitan area network. The third one is wide area network. One, that wide area network covers long distances I mean all the cities in a country that comes under WAN. It provides connectivity over large areas. For example, the computers connected in the DDC laboratory, that is the LAN, the computers of DDC connected with the computers of Ravensar, that is the MAN, Metropolitan Area Network, and all the computers in India connected together, that is called the WAN, Wide Area Network. Okay, so you see this is a LAN where all the computers are, here 12 computers are taken and it is connected using the hybrid topology, star and bus topology. Then this is see the WAN network, that is wide area network. WAN network, that is the wide area network. You see the systems, they are connected through different WANs, and the systems, they are far away from each other. So this is the heterogeneous network made of 4 WANs and 2 LANs. So it consists of local area networks, as I told, along with wide area networks. Like all the computers in DDC are connected with as LAN, they are connected as LAN. All the computers of DDC are connected as LAN. The computers of DDC are connected to the Ravensar as MAN. All computers connected with WAN. So the LAN of DDC get connected with the LAN of, let's say, Ravensar, the LAN of, let's say, Bangalore Institute of Technology, the LAN of, let's say, IISER, Bangalore, the LAN of, let's say, the Symbiosis. So this will connect and communicate with each other, the networks, that becomes the heterogeneous network. Okay, so this is the, basically the local area network resides or connects all the computers within a building or within office premises. The metropolitan area network connects the computers within a city or within 2 cities, and the wide area network connects all the computers around the world, around the country. Now, if I connect all the computers around the globe, then what will be that called? That network will be called? Anyone? We are using already.
WWW, Worldwide Network.
Yeah, worldwide, that is WW, but frequently we are saying this is internet. Okay. So the computers around the globe, or around the world connected together is known as internet. Or the other definition of internet we are saying is a network of networks. See the chat box. Network of networks. See the chat box. That is the informal definition of internet. Network of networks. Or if I say the other definition, all the computers around the globe, around the world, connected together is known as the internet. So the other definition is saying network of networks. What is a network? Network consists of many computers, many printers, many plotters that are connected together. And the network we discussed is of 3 types, basically LAN, MAN, WAN. LAN within office premises or within a building. MAN between 1 cities or 2 cities. Yeah? So the one is the wide area network, which connects the computers around the cities in a country, and all the computers around the globe are connected. That is known as internet. So the internet has revolutionized many aspects of our daily lives. You see now, we are saying communication is very fast. If we will go back, you know, earlier time, if we go back to, even if I am talking about the 99 cyclone time, that time it hits very hard to Odisha, but it was not so displayed in the national channel because of message did not reach to them. But you see nowadays a very small incident in Odisha, it becomes a national news. How? Because the communication technology is very fast. You see, yesterday in Baleswar, there is some in some industry, I think there will be ammonia gas leak, and some 10 to 20 people, I think they have injured. So that was becomes a national news. Even I don't know, when I saw the national news at late night at 12, so I came to know that it's Baleswar the incident happened. And how that is possible? Because communication is faster. And how communication is faster is because of the wide use of the internet. You see, before 14, nobody is so digitalized. It is after the Modi government come into the power. You see, they have stress on digitization, digital use and transfer of money, sending of money, purchasing, everything. People start to use the internet, WhatsApp, Facebook. Even in my village friends, they are doing their cultivation work, but they are also using the smartphones. You know, because they know that using internet they can get many things, and they are also using that. So that is why the internet has revolutionized many aspects of our daily life. It has affected the way we do business as well as the way we spend our leisure time. You see, that is what I told. We are always, you know, we are always using the internet to perform our business activities, like your classes going on by using internet. This is a classic example. It's a classic example how the internet is helping you people, how the information technology helping you people. Because if you have the knowledge or you collected data from your seniors or from somebody else, they have the class in DDC is carried out. Earlier it was done physically. Your PCB classes done physically for 10 days continuously. If you want to attend, you have to come to Bhubaneswar specifically. You have to arrange, you have to come at morning, you have to attend all the classes. But you see now the peculiarity, some of you, I don't know, you might be in Bangalore, some of you might be in Bombay, some of you in your home, some of you may be in the toilet, but you can attend the class. No need of coming physically, no need of wasting your time. And if let's say sometimes you have some work, you can temporarily time out, or you can go out, leave the class, do your activities, then come back, or you can do the same thing, just making the things mute and everything that is you want to do. So this is a good example how internet is helping you people. And as the future manager, you have to use the internet, because suppose you are the head of X company head office is in Bhubaneswar, you are in Bhubaneswar, you are having a branch office at Baleswar. Then how can you monitor those employees? So it's not possible to physically to go on Baleswar and monitor each day and come back to Bhubaneswar. You can do once in a month or once in a 15 days, or if at the best once in a week also, but not 7 days per week or 6 days per week. So in that case, what you will do? You can monitor them by doing video conferencing, tracking their positions, or you can do online meeting using Zoom or Google Meet. you can go for online meeting and you monitor their activities and you can say something, you are not doing or you are doing that, do that. Then next day you can do. So that is what the peculiar, the contribution of internet. Now we are thinking, because without internet our life may not exist. A survey was conducted during the corona pandemic that before corona, people are using the internet up to 30 to 40%. But it's after the corona pandemic, 90 to 95% people are using the internet. They are using the social sites. They are using the social groups to share their emotions, feelings. And the survey also gives a surprise fact that after midnight, I mean after 12 or 11:30 like that, most of the people after 60 plus, I mean, those are called senior citizens. They come to the internet, they used to the internet they come to the social site. They want to see the message before sleeping. Like if they will not check the message, they will not check the mails, or they will not chat with somebody, some of their friends, they may not be able to sleep like that. This is psychology. And we are also doing, because of corona, everybody is supposed to use the internet. Even a small kid, if you have any small kids in your home, standard 1, LKG, UKG, studying in English medium schools like DABs, they ask the parents, you have to give the mobile. And very, honestly saying, one of my nephews studying in DAB school, Bhubaneswar, he knows, how to quick search in the YouTube than me. Even sometimes he searches the painting arts. Okay, the comedy shows, Surya comedy, consider not yet comedy, but I'm surprised. And they also have a group of friends group, okay, where they are sharing the, the images, the pictures, the comedy shows. So I'm very surprised. A laptop will show, we have a computer in our then you can use as and when it is required. So you see, this is the organization of the internet, the hierarchical organization of the internet. That is the ISP is Internet Service Provider. You see, they are written ISP, and the ISP stands for Internet Service Provider. It is an organization who provides internet to the end customers of the clients to use the internet services. Like in India or in Bhubaneswar, if I talk about the ISPs, it's the Jio. Symbol is synonymous with rules and regulations. It consists of a set of rules that govern data communications. It determines what is communicated, how it is communicated, when it is communicated. I told it initiates data transfer, controls data transfer, supervises data transfer, and stop data transfer. So the key elements of a protocol are syntax, semantics, and timing. Now, what is syntax? Syntax will define the structure or format of the data. Okay, how it looks like, how the bits will be arranged, how the things will be done. It indicates how to read the bits. Then semantic refers the meaning of the bits. It reflects which field that semantic will be the meaning of the database, which will define, let's say, in a protocol, there are four fields or four classes, class A, class B, class C, class D, and nowadays is added with the class E. So which field is reserved for what? So that is what, which fields define what action, that is there in the semantics. Then the timing, it will define what data will be sent, when it will be sent, and with what speed it should be sent. So that will be, the timings. And basically in any internet connectivity, we use two protocols. Okay, so basically whenever we'll connect our device to any, the network or internet, we use the protocol, and frequently used protocol is TCP/IP. You see the chat box is the TCP/IP. That stands for Transmission Control Protocol Internet Transmission Control Protocol Internet Protocol. Before that, there was a theoretical protocol. Okay, so the protocol is essentially required required.
Sir,
Yes.
your voice is breaking, sir. We could not understand what you're saying. Can you please repeat it, the total lesson, element of protocol?
Yeah,
Because it's
elements
not
of the,
added.
okay, wait. The elements of the protocol are of three elements types. One is the syntax. The syntax defines the structure or the format of the data. What could be the structure or the format of the data? Which field is used for what? So indicates how to read the bits. That is the syntax. What will be the structure? Then coming to the semantic. Semantic refers to the meanings of the bits. What bit is used for what? So it knows which fields define what action. So structure will just arrange the data. That is the syntax part. Semantic part define the meanings. And the third is the timing. The when data to be sent, data amount will be, and at what speed the data will be sent. Okay, so to connect your device to the internet, to connect your device to the internet, we are using TCP/IP protocol. See the chat box I have typed. TCP is Transition Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. And basically, before TCP/IP, one theoretical model was proposed, that is OSI Open System Interconnection. And the internet is used for several or I say almost all the applications like education, research, design, analysis, modeling, simulation. So everywhere the internet is used. Okay. So this is all about the fourth unit for you people. If you have any doubt, the class is open because this is the end of the fourth unit. I repeat, this is the end of the fourth unit. If you have any doubt, anybody has any doubt, or if you have no doubt, then you can, anybody can respond.
No, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. So now,
Sir, good morning.
yes, good morning.
Sir, is it possible this time we can get the probable questions, sir?
Probable questions.
Yes, sir.
Probable questions, I mean, what, mid sort of class examination or semester examination you are asking?
No, sir, class examination.
Class examination.
Yeah, my semester, third semester examination.
Semester examination.
Sir, actually all are working, sir. Maximum people are working, so that is the only concern. Otherwise, we'll not ask them.
See, it's okay, fine. I'll give you some probable questions, but it does not that the question will be only asked from those parts. Question may be slightly different. So what I taught, I can ensure what I taught in the class, what I discuss in the class, question will come within that part. Beyond that, question will not come. That I can assure you. But what I told the probable question from that every question will be asked, that assurance I can
No,
give.
not every questions. At least suppose
Because
10, 12 questions you given,
question
80%, 80, 90% question are going to come.
Question will be said by me or somebody else. But what I taught, what is there in the syllabus, from that question will be asked. Okay. So now let me come to the last unit for you people is the fifth unit. So on fifth unit will basically go for the database. So far what we discussed, we started with unit 1, types of information, what are the qualities of information, then what are the dimensions of information. Then we discuss information system, the components of the information system. Then we come up with the SDLC, the software development lifecycle, how SDLC is used to design a new system or to upgrade the existing system. Then we discuss the control structures, the security measures. Then we come up with the third unit. The third unit to go for the application of information system in different business subsystems like finance, marketing, HR, accounting, production. So that we discuss in the third unit. Then fourth unit we discuss the data communication, components of the data communication, the network, types of network, then internet and the protocol, TCP/IP protocol, then what are the applications of internet, that also we discussed. Now coming to the last unit, you see the MIS based on the basis of the information. Everything, every decision taken by the manager is analyzing the information at the hand and how information is produced from the data. Now, where is the data? The data is collected by the lower level management, the clerks, the customers will provide the data. The data will be collected from the market. The data will be collected from the specific stakeholders. Then the thing is, if so many data are used, so many data are collected, then the data will be stored. Computer is a machine. It's not capable to remember. Like we are human beings, we have natural intelligence. So we are capable to remember. At least for some days, something we are remembering. We remember still what happened in last year with us or in, let's say, a child. Computer cannot do because other information system cannot do because it's a machine. That means there is a requirement that you should store the data somewhere so that the data can be used by the system later to generate the information, and the information is provided to the management fellow to take the decision. And the data should be stored permanently. It's not a temporary storage because human memory is volatile. Remember, after some time we forget. That's like before examination. We remember everything, and after exam is over, we try to forget because next subject we have to again read and remember. In this case, the data has to be permanently with minimum cost. The data will be stored permanently, maximum cost. It will increase the application cost of the the decision making process. So that's why the data is stored permanently. You see the chat box. Data should be stored permanently less and it should store huge data at a time. Huge data at a time. If you have remembered in the 90s, we used the floppy, we use the CD to store the data, but floppy 1.4 MB, CD like that only some MB. You see, now we are using the pen drive. having 16 GB memory space, having 32 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB, you see the size of the device increases. So the data should be stored permanently with minimum cost, and more data can be stored at the same time. Then where it will be stored? And the data will be stored permanently, huge data with less cost, that is known as a database. So database stores the data with minimum cost and permanent. So the database will be created, since it stores permanently, so it will be created in the secondary memory. Now, I think you have used your smartphone or your mobile or the laptops. There also we are keeping some data permanently. We are storing the data and it is there in a permanently. So that is, you can say that is a small database. Now, in which memory the database will be created? Anybody can guess?
So secondary hard disk.
You are very right. It's the hard disk is the secondary memory. Okay. So it's not secondary hard disk, it's the only hard disk you say, it will be better. So, you know, in computer, I think, or laptop, you are having a hard disk where you store the data and it is permanently stored. Similarly, whenever we come up with the information system, we use the database management system. The database management system contains the information about a particular enterprise. All the data will be stored in that enterprise. So it is a collection of interrelated data, because the data will be stored in the database relating to a single organization or single firm or single industry. So the data will be interrelated data, like DDC has a database management system, Revensa has a database management system, Uttar has a database management system, BJB has a database management system. So BJB database considers the data related to BJB. The students of the BJP, the examination schedule of the BJP, the results of BJP student. It will never store the data or faculty of, let's say, Revensa or Utkal. So the collect related data, a set of program to access the data will be stored in the database. So it has to be accessed. And it provides an environment that is both convenient and efficient to use. But since the data is stored, it should be very convenient and efficient to use those data by the manager or by the end customer or by the DBA, database administrator. The data will be managed by a person who is known as DBA. You see the chat box? Database administrator. Database administrator. So the database administrator
Not audible, sir.
manage all the data So what are the applications of the database? The database applications are banking sectors. That is the transactions are performed. Airlines, this is reservations and schedule. Universities like the registration and result declaration. These are some of the applications, but other applications also possible. Sales, customers, product purchases, online retailers, order tracking, customized recommendations, manufacturing like production, inventory, orders, supply chain, human resources like database is maintained at the educational or the as an organization or the farm or the industry side. But now I think I told you people that today is the time of big data, Hadoop and the cloud. Okay, it's the cloud computing. So nowadays, organization is not maintaining the database. They will hire the cloud space, and the cloud space they and the director of DDC wants to get some information or the data from the database, which is in the DDC. So what it will happen, unless the database is connected to the internet, the director will not able to see the data from USA because he's out of station. That is the traditional database. But nowadays it's the cloud database. In this case, the data will be stored in the cloud. You see, you go to open space, you look the sky, you'll find cloud everywhere. You are watching the cloud here. One person in USA can see the cloud, from China can see the cloud, from Russia can see the cloud. That means the data will be kept in the cloud, and the director may be in USA, maybe China, maybe Russia. He can access the data anywhere. It's a 24/7. The service the data stored in cloud, it will be 24/7 services. Data will be available 24/7 to any person anywhere around the world. To any person anywhere around the world, the data will be available. Same time, the cost will be decreased because whenever the database is maintained at the institute site or the office premises, office will burn all the costs, management, maintenance, updation, a person to look after the data. But whenever it is kept in cloud, you give a, like it's a third.
Sir, your voice is cracking.
So I think you have the knowledge. Nowadays, the central government in the department of MHRD in the higher education, along with the state government of Odisha collaboration, they started with a project called NAD. So a project is called a NAD, NAD. That is National Academic Depository. National Academic Depository. They have hired cloud space. The cloud space is hired by the central government. They are giving to the state government. The state government giving the space to its universities and autonomous college, where the result of the student will be uploaded. The certificate will be uploaded. Principal, university VC. So that's why the certificate correctness will be always achieved. There will be no change or the modification of the certificate. And like when you are traveling in the train or bus, you may lose the certificate due to fire problem or due to the water, your certificate will be lost. So that will be not the case. Okay, so that is the data they are maintaining. They are expected to maintain by the end of 20. And generate the transcripts. I mean the mark sheets. Yeah, and in the early days, database applications are built directly on the top of the file system. Earlier it was a file system. Now it is the database system.
Sir,
Yes.
last couple of minutes, your voice is breaking, so we cannot understand the topic.
Now it is audible.
Sir, now it is audible, but
Yeah.
every couple of minutes, your voice is breaking down up to 30 to 40 seconds. Then after it will audible. So that's why we could not understand the topic. Sir, please.
Okay. Let me again recall those things what I told. I told in any organization, whenever you will use the information system, as the manager, you have to take the decision that the data which are
Sir, again same issue. Now your voice is breaking. Hello, sir. Hello. अच्छा मत्ते सुना जाउने ना समस्त ने सुना जाउने
ଭାଇ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ସେଇ ଅବସ୍ଥା ଭାଇ।
ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଶୁଣା ଯାଉନି।
देन ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି ବୋଧେ ମୁଁ ଟ୍ରାଭେଲ କରିଛି ନା ମତେ
ନାଇଁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଏଟା
ନାଇଁ ଆଉ ଥରେ ରିପିଟ୍ କରେ sir same issue happening na but you recall same issue happening sir your voice is breaking
is it my problem or it is your, because I am in DDC office.
We all have the same issue. So, sir, it is from your side because every student have same issue.
Oh. But I am in DDC lab. I am taking the class where these are taking. Same system we are taking the class. So I think it's a problem. Network problem will not be. Let me check the capacity of. Just hold on, okay. Anybody can respond. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Now it's clear.
Not clear?
Clear, sir. Clear.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. So let me come again from the. Yeah. So let me start again quickly what I told so many. So the things in the 15.8. Whenever you are using the information system to take the decisions, you have to use a database to store the data permanently with minimum cost and to store huge data at a time. So the database management system which is used contains the information about a particular industry or enterprise or farm. It collects of all interrelated data. It uses a set of programs to access the data. The environment
Yeah, it's sir. Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
type system. In early days, it was these applications were built directly on the top of the file system. So the universal database, you see the example of universal database as I told. Now I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the database, but before database, the file system was used. So what are the drawbacks or the disadvantages of file systems? So that we come up with a database system. In the file system, the redundancy and inconsistency is a problem because multiple file formats and sometimes duplicate information will be in different files. And those informations may be contradicting each other because we are maintaining a file. We have to write in a file. So suppose I am good at writing, I will write in my own way. Somebody else will write, he or she will write his own or her own way, so that the file formats will be multiple. There will be no unique structure, and same information may be written in twice or 3 times. So that's why, that will be a problem of file system. The second problem is that difficulty in accessing the data. Because whenever you are writing something in a file, the file is somewhere, you have to search the file page by page. Then data isolation. Keeping the data isolated from other data is very difficult because it will use multiple files and different formats. Then the fourth problem is the integrity problems. Integrity constraint is very much essential, which is not maintained at all in file. Because whenever you want to draw some money from your savings account, first it will check whether the balance is more than the amount you want to withdraw or not. If you have 500, you want to withdraw 1,000, then it will not give the permission. So that integrity type of constraint means certain limitations. You say the constraint like you are staying in your home with your parents, then before 11 p.m. at night, let's say 12, whatever your parents' flexibility. So you have to return to the home. So if you will return at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the night, definitely will be scolded by your parents. So that is what the conditions say. So that is what the integrity problem that arises in case of the file system. Then next is the atomicity of updates. Whenever any updation will be done, since there will be the same will be appearing in multiple files, some changes will be done in one file, may not be changes in other file. So that is the problem. Somewhere you change, let's say, the value of the age of employee, let's say it was written initially 12 in two different locations. The age of the employee is, let's say, 21. You updated it to 25 in one file, but other file is still 21. You have not updated. Then concurrent access by multiple users is not possible because one file, one person can see at a time, or one person can write at a time. And the most important problem is the security problem. You know, files is physically maintained, you can give the utmost security. We are keeping the file, we are putting a log, but it's not so, because if the log will be broken, then the security can be broken also. So that's why file system is not, you know, file system is not an efficient method of data storage, or it is not popularly used nowadays. Nowadays it is used is the database, which is maintained in the hard disk. So the database which is maintained has three levels of abstraction. The first level is the physical level, second logical level, third view level. Now what is physical level? Physical level describes how a record is stored physically. I mean, it will be stored in terms of zeros and ones. This is the backend. This is the, it will be stored in terms of zeros and ones. See the chart box. The actual storage. Because I told in some of my classes that the computer, the laptop, they understand only binary things. They understand only binary language. So whatever you are writing, hello, hi, good morning, 12 minus 25. So that is for you to understand. But computer will never understand those. You have to change this high level representation to the binary representation. So in the database storage, database is always a backend. The physical level of the database will describe how record physical stored, how it is stored in terms of zeros and ones. The second is the logical level. The logical level describes the data stored in database and the relationship among the data. Suppose is a DDC database, the data of faculty members will be stored, the data of your coordinator like Rasi madam will be stored, Sujit sir will be stored, director will be stored, and how they are related. Okay, let's say Rasi madam, Sujit sir, they belong to MBA department. Let's say my data will be stored, I am a visiting faculty over here. But whenever my data will be stored in BJB, I am the head of the department. My data will be stored there as the regular employee. Here it will be as a visiting employee. And the relation will be defined. Then the third level will be the view level. It will how the users will see, how the users will use the data. That is the view level. Okay, so this is the graphical representation of the levels of abstraction. That is, you see, view level consists of how the customers will see the data, how the customers will use the database, how the clients will use the database, how the stakeholders will use the database. So it consists of view 1, view 2, up to view n. Any number of customers, a number of clients, a number of stakeholders, a number of managers, a number of programmers, they can use the database. So concurrency, which is a problem in file system, it is not a problem in database system. Because the database of DDC can be used by many students at the same time. physical value. So coming to the next is the data models. Data models, a collection of tools for describing data constraints. How the data is logically represented. What is the relationship between the data? What is the meaning of the data and what are the constraints imposed? Let's say like you say age, the constraint is it can't be negative. Your name, you cannot leave as blank. But yes, your surname you can leave as blank. Your middle name you can leave as blank. That's a constraint. But the constraint is that first name cannot be blank or age can't be negative. Okay. So that what is the constraint? So there are several data models used. One of them is the relational model, entity relationship data model, then object-based data model, then semi-structured data model, network data model, hierarchical data model. But for you people will discuss only the first two, relational and data model, that's entity relationship data model. Now what is relational data model? Relational data model is storing the data in form of tables. In form of the tables. So you see, the problem I told in file system that it has several formats. It has several formats in file storage. But you see in the database, it has a unique storage. In relational model, the data will be stored in table. Each table has one row for each employee or for each entity, one column for each attribute. Let's say I'm maintaining the faculty. So the first is faculty ID, or like let's say if I enter the village people in a village, I'll take the Aadhaar number, then the name, then the department. Since the faculty, the department name, then the salary. You see, whoever will join, that entry will be done in this format. So in database, there will be always a unique format. Whereas in file, there are several formats. So that is a problem in the file system. Okay. So each column will represent an attribute. Okay, I'll tell you, just hold on for 5 minutes. I'll tell you what is attribute and entity. Since relational data model maintains in tabular form, so it is very easy to access the data, very easy to store the data, because a common structure or you say a predefined structure will be used for all the data to be stored. So this is what the relational database for faculty, the first one. Second, the department database. Department means what is the department name? Database application in any industry, any firm, in any industry, in any firm uses the relational data models. Uses the relational data models. So whenever the relational data model is used, you have to go for and some of you may know Chinese, Japanese, Russian language. These are the different ways to communicate with the corresponding persons. So similarly, whenever you communicate with the computer, we are using the language like C, C++, Java, .NET, Python. Similarly, whenever we work with the database system, the database management system, we'll use different languages. So the first one is the data definition language. The data definition language is normally used to create the tables. So whenever a table is created, the syntax create the tables. So the syntax is create table is the keyword, create table, table name. Then what are the attributes you want to keep? Let's say create table, faculty or teacher or instructor. So the name is you have to define ID. ID is a number. Name is also a character. Department name is character. Salary is a number. Or your ID you can take also a character. Then the second type of language we are using, first we create the database, then data manipulation. Structured query language. Most frequently used language commercially, but others like as I told, calculus, domain relational calculus can also be used. Now coming to the next part is the design. The process of designing the general structure of the database is logical design and physical design. The logical design on the database schema, the database design requires that we find a good collection of relational schemas. What attributes should we record in database? What relational schemas should we have? And how should the attributes be distributed among the various relation schemas? I mean, what will be the structure? That logical structure will be defined. Then the physical design, deciding on the physical layout of the database. Whether you will go for the hard disk, we will keep the data in the Excel format using the pen drive, the DVD, or you will go for the RAD memory for storing large volume of data, so that we can go for design. So physical design, another. Then you see here, in this case, you see whenever we go for any relational, we have to follow two approaches. One is the normalization approach, relationship approach. Now, since we are today's time is of object-oriented programming approach or object-oriented, so the relational data model is little bit changed and modified, and that is the object relational data model is flat. Relational data model by including object orientation and construct to deal with the added data types. you say man is an object, fan is an object, duster is an object, computer is an object, and each object having its own attributes like computer. Cost of the computer is an object, or cost of computer is the attribute of the object computer. Then the manufacturer name of the computer, that is also an of purchase, that is also another attribute. So each object will be added with the relational data model, and that becomes the object relational data model. Attributes are supposed to have complex data types, including non-atomic values as nested relation. It provides upward compatibility with existing relational language. And that is why, currently the object relational data model is just implemented in big data, Hadoop, cloud. So is used in the and it's frequently used. And its updated version, or you say the modified version, object relational data model, is, you say, it is used nowadays. Now, the database engine or database processor, you say, the database, what are the activities done? We store data, so there is a storage manager. We process data, there is a query processor to perform query processing. And we perform the transaction, there is a transaction manager. So three, you say database engine or database processor are there, storage query manager or query processor, then transaction manager. The storage manager will manage the interface between the low-level data stored in the database with the application program and the queries submitted to the system. The storage manager is responsible for efficient storing of data, retrieving of data, updating of the data. Storage manager. And basically the storage manager will look after all those things. Then coming the query processor or query manager, you see that it is the parsing and translation, optimization, evaluation. Whatever the query you have to input it to the system, what you have inputted to the system, those queries will be processed and executed and finally evaluated by the query processor. So alternative ways of evaluating and bad query will be used for future applications. Then the transaction manager is responsible for successful execution of the transaction. A transaction is a collection of operations that performs a single logical function in a database application. So it will perform transaction management along with concurrency control. How to perform several transactions to be executed at the same time. So these are used administrators. There will be the nav users, the Tailor agents, web users. Application, they use the application interface. Then the application programmer who will write the sophisticated user who will use the query tools and the data use the to manage the database. So basically, we'll have four types of users. A programmer who will develop the application program, sophisticated user who will analyze the tools, queries, and database administrator who will manage the database, responsible for the database smooth management. It's I just show for your knowledge, but it will consist of different phases. Nav users, application programmers, system analysts, and database administrators are there. Then the architecture that are followed in database will be either it will be the client server architecture, the centralized architecture, the parallel architecture, or the distributed architecture. So basically we refer to the client server architecture. Then I shall give you some history of the database system. It was early 1960s. The data processing was done using magnetic tape for storage. But late 1970s, the high performance transaction processing was done. Prototypes, that is the database, has been come into physical existence. As I told you, see the last point, the latter 2000, big table, that's a big data, Hadoop, computing, these are come into the picture. So basically, different ways to maintain the database, different ways to design the data, and you know the data that is stored in database should be secure. The data is confidential and the reliability should be there. I mean, the data you are storing, let's say you are using the WhatsApp or Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the data stored in the data by the unauthorized users or by the unauthorized, you know, the third parties. Suppose I'm sending some message to my friend should see that. That's it. By using the password, every database user will give in a user ID and password. By using the user ID and password, the customer or the users, they will be given the permission to access the data. So the data should not be open to all, or if two persons are storing the data in the database, so X person's data should not collide with Y person's data, or Y person will be affected by X. So data will be stored following the ACID property. Okay, ACID. That is A for atomicity, A for atomicity, C for consistency, I for isolation, D for durability. So I mean, the data should be valid all through the time. The data should not be visible to third party. The data should not be accessed by the third party without the permission of the owner. I think I've heard whenever you want to copy something or you want to use some materials, you have to take the permission of the owner. So the database maintains the security, the privacy, the confidentiality. And this is all about the fifth unit and all the management information system. So this is the end of the class. The class is open for discussion. If anybody has any doubt or anybody wants to say anything. But before that, let me tell you, after this class, I'll send the slides to the person whom I'm sending. So the slides will be immediately available. You just go and touch the slides. Now the class is open. If anybody wants to say something or ask some doubts regarding the MIS as a whole.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, in the 15th, can you please sign up with the bullet?
Sorry?
Can you please sign up with the bullet?
Yeah.
In this 15th.
Okay, just wait. And the 5th unit, we started with the database. What is the use of the database? The database stores the data permanently with minimum cost and large volume of data. Because you are using information system in finance, marketing, HR, and you need the information to take a decision as the manager. Now, where the information will be brought from the data. Now, data will be collected by the lower management, by the clerks, by the salespersons. So the data has to be kept somewhere. And since computer is a machine, it cannot store the data its own. You have to store the data in a specific area, and that is in the hard disk in the computer or laptop. The database is created in the hard disk for permanent storage of the data with a minimum cost and large volume of data. The database is used in many different fields to store the data like banking, airlines, health sector, education sector, so many areas. We have discussed the data models. And we discussed the file system, so many disadvantages of the file system we have, like redundancy, inconsistency, isolation, integrity problem, then the concurrency problem, the security problem, which is not achieved in file system. Then we go for the database system. Then we discuss the database abstraction, that is 3 levels: physical, logical, view. Then diagram I have already shared, and I will send you the slides. Then we use the data models to store the data, the relationship, the semantics and constraints. Relational data model is there, entity relationship data model is there, object relational data model is there, network data model is there, hierarchical data model is there. But in commercial application, relational data model is there, which is in syllabus. So that also we discussed, and the tabular I have given shown the diagram. Okay. Then for using any table or creation of any table, use DDL, DML. Then we go for the database design. Then the query database, query processor, storage manager, transaction manager. And we go for the little bit history of the database. And the security of the database is achieved by providing the password, user ID and password to each and every users or the customers. Okay, so that's in a nutshell the 5th unit. Everything about the database.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, I have a
Yes.
little bit query. Now, current time we are using the cloud database, right?
Yeah.
Sir, what is the limitation of this cloud database? Is there any limitation?
Yeah, limited. See, let me tell you the advantage I told already. Because cloud data is available 24/7 like ambulance. And it will be accessed anywhere by anybody at any time. There is no time constraint, there is no place constraint, there is no customer constraint. But only the problem is that you should have an internet connectivity, because cloud resides in the internet. The cloud is where storage. So you have to access the cloud database if you are having an active internet connectivity. Otherwise, it is the
Okay, sir. Thank you. It means, sir, all are good only for the if you have not good internet connection. This is the only limitation.
Yes, that's why nowadays around the world, all the traditional storage is migrating to the cloud storage. So many costs will be reduced, your security will be reduced, because you are not going to maintain everything. Everything will be maintained by cloud service provider. Okay, so most of the researchers are working. I recently last year awarded my PhD. My PhD area is also resource management in cloud computing, because everybody is working big data, Hadoop, cloud computing. Nowadays, not only the storage is in cloud, computing is also done in cloud. We no need to purchase the system. Like I simulate a program, I need 30 computers. So I cannot buy 30 computers. I'll have one computer, I'll rent 29 computers virtually. The virtual space I'll execute this one. So that is why. So cloud computing has many advantages. Okay, and this is the recent area. Cloud computing has many advantages, and this is the recent area of research in computer science, and even the MBA people are doing. Like last time I took the orientation class for MBA student in Bangalore department. I talk about GPSs normally. because GPSS, I think you have heard that one, that is normally used by it's a statistical package, normally used software package that is used by the MBA fellow to analyze simulate study existing data, the models. But they, after some, it is 2-hour class, after 45 minutes, we just say about the cloud, the Google form, the Google Drive, because they will not going to follow the traditional approach, right? They will follow the modern approach. So I just migrated my truck from there to cloud, because cloud is normally adopted by everywhere. You know, I told just the NAT project, certificate will not be given. I think you might have experience that your certificate will be lost. It will be stolen. It will be, which time the certificate may be, it will be. But nowadays, what we'll do? After 2025, no physical certificate will be distributed. So no physical certificate will be distributed means bamboo tree will not be cut, production of the paper cost will be reduced. And the most important thing is the certificate available in the cloud. Every student pass out will be given a user ID and password. You go in India, you just log in and your certificate will come out. So the expert is the genuinity of the certificate, because everyone knows the certificate is uploaded by the college principal, university vice chancellor or controller. So student cannot edit anything. Student only see that. So that is what transparency is also increased. Okay. Then anything?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Then anything? Anybody wants to say anything? I'll try to.
It's like the previous semester. Can you give some important aspect from the exam point of view, like unit wise?
Yeah, see, I can, as I told, I can share you people, but I'll give you some question, but ensure will be asked from there. You can take as a reference one. Okay, fine. Then only I can share you the question. Because last time, what happened? So people asked me the question. I intentionally, I think, shared some but not shared, because I am setting the question. So if I will say it or somebody else will say, question may vary. And that time you say, sir has given, but question was not asked from that part. So that's why I can ensure one thing, whatever I taught, whatever I cover up, question will come from that part. That assurance I can give you people. But what will be the question nature or type, it will be not exactly what given be. Maybe, may not be also. Okay.
Sir, we want to only for the model question.
Yeah.
Question,
Then that's fine. Now let me clear, because sometimes people think sir has given, question will come from this part only. It's not like that. Okay, I'll give you the model
We are
question.
not saying in that aspect. We are not saying in that aspect. You can send the model question. We will prepare and we will go to the exam in own way.
Sure. Okay, sure. Okay. Then I'll send
thank you, sir.
just the. I think I'm sending Prashant Sahu the slides, right?
Me, sir.
I'm sending through your email, na? Prashant Sahu?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll send you the 4th and 5th minute slide. Just you share with your group, okay?
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for your valuable words.
Okay, thank you. I also thank you all of you for your kind listening. And if anybody wants anything, I think my number is there. You can ask any suggestion or anything. But point of the question comes, I'll give you the model question, probable question, out of which 30% or 40%, 50% question will be asked, and remaining others you have to prepare yourself. Okay.
Sure, sir.
So thank you.
Sure.
Thank you all.